Well, shit. This morning got up, brought Cash to water polo at about 5:30 this morning. And then while making the rounds, found our little bull, who's about a year old, had passed away. Little champion. One of the hardest parts of this job is parts of this job. And I don't know why he died. I don't know what happened. There's no real autopsy situation for a little bull like that. It just didn't make it. One of the parts about farming, ranching, doing all this stuff is you got to be soft and caring and loving and nurturing and do whatever you can to help little animals survive. And when they're in trouble, you got to stay up all night with them. Sometimes a mother, and a baby don't see eye to eye, and you have to bottle feed a calf. And sometimes you got to teach a calf how to get on the nipple. But sometimes things just don't work out. And you got to dig a hole and move on with the rest of your day. So right now it's about 7 a.m. Waiting to pick up Cash from his AM workout. We got a hole dug. We buried him. And before most people's day starts, that happened. And you just got to go on with the rest of your day. You kind of just have to move on and almost act like nothing ever happened. And if I didn't record this and put it out to the world, only about 3 people would ever have known. But that's life on the farm, as Mom says. Every day, something big, something in anybody else's life, losing a pet, losing something that they really love or care for, it's catastrophic. But when you're on a farm, your day just has to go on. So we're going to take the ear tag, put it up on the wall so that we remember a little bull that we had a lot of hope in, and the little LC we wrote on his ear tag and put it up on the wall, and it'll never mean anything to anybody other than about 3 people. But that sucks. There's a really great poem called So God Made a Farmer. And I'm going to look it up real quick. Here it is. It's by Paul Harvey. And Paul Harvey said, "And on the 8th day, God looked down at his planned paradise and said, 'I need a caretaker.' So God made a farmer. God said, 'I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board.' So God made a farmer. I need somebody with arms strong enough to rustle a calf and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Someone to call hogs, tame cantankerous machinery, come home hungry, have to wait lunch until his wife's done feeding the visiting ladies, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon and actually mean it. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt, watch it die, then dry his eyes and say, maybe next year. I need somebody who can shape an axe handle from a persimmon sprout, shoe a horse with a hunk of car tire, who can make a harness out of hay wire, feed stacks and shoe scraps, who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour work week by noon, and then painted from tractor back, put it in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer. God had to have somebody willing to ride the ruts at double speed to get the hay in ahead of the rain clouds, yet stop midfield and race to help when he sees the first smoke at a neighbor's place. God said, I need someone strong enough to clear trees, heave bales, yet gentle enough to tame lambs and wean pigs, and tend the pink-combed pullets, who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the leg of a meadowlark. It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight, not cut corners, someone to seed, weed, feed, breed, rake and disc, and plow and plant and tie, fleece and strain milk and replenish the self-feeder and finish a hard works week with a 5-mile drive to church. Someone who would somebody who would bail a family together with soft, strong bonds of sharing, who would laugh and then sigh and reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farm. This is a tough job sometimes. Maybe next year.